Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I'm going to say, Call him Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, Bashim HaKakodash, and the honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who do rule and teach well. And, of course, honors to the brothers push this truth across the four corners in all sincerity, man. Right? So we're just going to get into a topic. So yesterday at camp, it was kind of like the last topic we were kind of getting into, man, but we were kind of going over the idea of how a woman, if a man, has a woman or whatever, and the woman only bears daughters, that she should get with the, someone of her own tribe so that the inheritance will stay with the tribe. Of course, in the kingdom, we'll have sons and daughters, so it's not really something to fret about or worry about. But we're just kind of getting to that point, man, and kind of also get into how, in a society, man, shit, people don't even really want to have kids. Like, kids are seen as like a burden, right? But in the ancient world, it was not like that, and that was pretty much the point, we're getting into, man. All right, so we'll start here. It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 28. And see if I can find it. First try. Tenth way. Okay, maybe it's not in this one. Let's see if we can find it. This is it's like Proverbs 29:2. Yeah. So book of Proverbs 29:2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. So yeah, right now the world, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. The rulership. Right, this world is currently in rulership under the so-called white people, so-called white man. Right, Edomites. Right, they changed our image. Right, the image of the Heavenly Father, of the Son. Right, the images of the prophets, the images of the angels. Right, and so on and so forth. They've hijacked our identity. Right, they call themselves the people. Right, but of course, the Lord, through our Bivens, to his Kakodash, right, he's revived and brought this truth back out, right, and then in process of time, to the elders of our elders, eventually come to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, on down to the brothers, right, where, we have 100% of the truth, right, 100% of the truth we need to receive salvation, in this time, all right. So when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. When the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. And the people are mourning right now, man. Right? All of us are mourning, right? Like it says in Habakkuk, right? This book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 4. Behold, the soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. All right, yeah, his soul, talking about the so-called white man, is lifted up with pride, man. All right, he's a proud devil, man. All right. And he believes himself to be the Most High, like it says in 2 Thessalonians, the 2nd chapter, and also Ezekiel, the 28th chapter, man. Right? He believes himself to be the Most High. Right? That's why he wants to push his MOTB agenda, transhumanist agenda. Right? He wants total control. Right? He wants to feel like he's the Most High. Right? And like you see, the eye and the dollar bill, the all-seeing eye, the cameras and surveillance everywhere. Yeah, he's trying to emulate and try to be like the Most High, man. Right, which is a point I remember the elders were bringing up, man. On their camp, right? And I was like, yeah, that's right, man. Right, and they show you in that movie. I can't remember the name of it, but as Will Smith. And I saw that movie like years ago. I think I saw it when I was like maybe 13 or 14 or whatever, but as Will Smith, and he plays like a, I think he plays like an agent or something, and he's on the run for the government, and the government has all of these cameras and things, and they're like, wherever he goes, they're able to like track him, man. You know, and yeah, that movie it was telling a lot of truth, man, because it's like that, right? They have even if you have a VPN, they have all types of ways to get a hold of, you know, your IP address and all your stuff. They can, you know, look at your camera, you know, and stuff like that. You know, even here with like the smart TVs, they can look through the cameras, even if you turn it off. So, yeah, man, these devils, man, they lift it up, you know, and it's not upright in them, man. Yeah, this devil is not upright at all, man. He's evil, right? You damn devil, damn deceiver, you know, a liar, right? You know, he's the accuser of our brethren, man. You know, he get our people to go off, you know, and then accuses us, you know, before the Heavenly Father, man. Say, oh, look at your people. Right, look how bugged out they are. Look how wicked they are. Right, meanwhile, this damn devil is the one, you know, who propped up and elevates all the wicked, you know, side of our people, man, and puts a magnifying glass on it. Right, create all these stereotypes about Jake. Right, that all Jakes are criminals and things like that. When they just take one, you know, corner of Jake, you know, one type of Jake, and just elevate that part, you know, the worst, pretty much. Alright, they don't go into, you know, how there's Jakes and different stuff, Jakes that lawyers and doctors, intellectuals, and things like that, you know, not to, you know, give them props because, you know, the wisdom of this world is foolishness with the Most High, but, you know, this damn devil, you know, he runs smear campaigns, man, right, and things like that, right? He always made it a point to do that, man. He continues to do that, you know, painting this picture, negative picture of Jake, right? Make it as a proverb and a byword, like it says in the scriptures, a curse. The just shall live by his faith, man. Yeah, that's gonna be a stability of our time, man. Right, knowledge and wisdom, right? The knowledge and wisdom of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, and having that faith in Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, right? Having the names are extremely important. It's part of the faith. It's a big part of the faith, man. You need to know the names. You need to have the names to call on them. The name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous run into it and are safe. Yea, also, because he transgresseth by wine, he's a proud man, neither keepeth at home, because he has all these different military bases, and the wine is his philosophies. Well, as his desire is hell, and as his deafness cannot be satisfied. Yeah, he's never satisfied, man. He's always going into more wars, trying to stimulate the military-industrial complex, and things like that, you know, to bring more weapons productions and things like that, you know, which is a big reason, right, in addition to hijacking our identity, it's a big reason why they set up those small hats, right, in our land, right? Actually, it was to fulfill prophecy. It's a real reason the Lord had this set up for them to fulfill prophecy, Ezekiel 36 and 5. But also, you know, it was done to destabilize that whole region, right? Because when they got in there, those Amalekites started doing what? Making wars and starting conflicts with all the other, you know, Ishmaelites and different nations around them, man. Alright? So that's pretty much what it is, man. that's what was set up, but the Lord had it all set up like that, which once again to set up prophecy, right? Sure, the leash of the flock shall draw them out. Surely you shall make the habitation desolate with them, right? And cannot be satisfied. Begat from all nations, even unto him all people, right? Because America's, you know, like a melting pot. Should not always take a parable against him and a taunting proverb against him, saying, woe unto him that increased that which is not his, man. How long? Right, and that's Habakkuk speaking, man. All right, how long is the devil going to keep going around stealing? Right, stealing the natural resources, you know, fleecing these nations out of, you know, their autonomy, out of their customs, right? You know, turning them, you know, giving them that wine, like it says later on in the chapter, that philosophies, right? You know, like a nation could be kind of like have a conservative culture, right? But now, you know, they start making deals with America. You know, the nation's becoming perpetual debt, right? You know, they start bringing all kinds of alphabet shit to the nation, you know, and all kind of madness, man. You know, it starts to grow, right? All that increased that which not is, how long? Unto him that layeth himself with thick clay. And that word for clay is ebatya, which means debt, man. Yeah, this devil was laden himself with heavy debt, right? The debt to production ratio is very, very large. I think they call it the import to export ratio. Right? Like America isn't known for exporting a lot of materials; it's known for just taking it in, right? And then building up that debt, man. Right? All that inflation, the Bretton Woods, the Bretton Woods Agreement, and all that stuff, right? Pretty much with American currency, it's like becoming a fiat currency, which gave way to times we have now due to all these different market manipulations, conflicts, wars, rumors of wars. Right now, the gas is through the roof, and you have all this stuff popping off. But it's gonna get a lot worse. Right, bread is gonna be, basic food necessities are gonna be, ridiculously expensive. Right, there's gonna be, lack of food, lack of shipments. It's gonna be all bad, man. Right, even the water is not gonna be, drinkable. Right, it says that for a certain part, the water should not run for 3 days. So yeah, it's gonna be all bad, man. It's Jacob's trouble. All right, so um, you need to just get right, man. Right, turn to Yahweh, Shemi Shai, seek the Lord while he may be found. All right, Isaiah 55. But yeah, man. Right, yeah. But going back to the topic, man. This damn devil. That's why people don't want to have kids here, man, because of the heavy debt, all the inflation. That's the point I want to get into. Right, price everything is ridiculous. Basic food necessities. Like it says in Isaiah 19, also, for a perverse spirit, right? You should err in every work thereof. Right, so yeah, America's erring in every work thereof. Right, there's nothing they can do to fix it. Right, the economy's messed up. Socially, this place is messed up. Like Elder Apostle Gabar, I was watching him speak. I think on the whole, what's this guy's name? Deacon Hakka situation. He was like, "Hey man, in this day and age, you really can't even have a relationship. It's kind of dead. Like social media ruined relationships." And he's absolutely right. Absolutely correct. I mean, there's nothing wrong with going out and talking to women or things like that, or trying to find yourself a woman, but it's all fucked up, right? But to kind of get into the way of how it's supposed to be, how it was in the ancient world, we can get into 1 Samuel 1:1. The point is like at 9. Now there was a certain man, Ramathayim Zophim of Mount Ephraim, his name was Elkanah, the son of Jeroham, the son of Elihu, the son of Tohu, and the son of Zoph, Ephrathite. Right, now it says Ephrathite, but that doesn't mean that he was Ephraimite, right? Because Elkanah was actually a Levite, because his son is also a Levite. Samuel, he's a Levite. He's not Ephraimite. He had 2 wives. The name of the one was Hannah. The name of the other Peninnah. And actually, here you go. Yeah, Samuel was a Levite, and you got to go back to the Book of Chronicles will prove it. So yeah. So he had 2 wives. The name of the one was Hannah. The name of the other Peninnah. Peninnah had children, but Hannah had no children. And this went up out of the city. This man went up out of the city yearly to worship and sacrifice to the Lord of hosts in Shiloh. And the sons of Eli, Hophni, and Phinehas, peace of the Lord, were there. Yeah, man, they were wicked, man. Eli's sons. They were wicked, wicked. When the time was that Elkanah offered, he gave Peninnah his wife and to all her sons and daughters portions, but unto Hannah he gave a worthy portion, for he loved Hannah, but the Lord had shut up her womb, and so she couldn't have children. And the adversary provoked her sore for to make her fret, because the Lord had shut up her womb. Right, talk about Peninnah. So, and as he did, so year by year, she wanted to ask the Lord, so she provoked her, therefore she wept and did not eat. Right, so yeah, man, she was very saddened, right? Because she couldn't have kids, man. In the ancient world, it was important for a woman to be able to produce you an heir, man, to produce you children, right? But nowadays, because we got this damn devil ruling, people are mourning, man. Nobody want to have kids. People are just like, kids are like a financial burden, right? Which is not really wise to have kids in society anyway, man. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, we move into really rough times and things like that, right? But regardless if you have a kid or not, if you're a man, the Lord's gonna look after you, man. Yahweh Shai is gonna, make sure that you're situated, right? As long as you keep that faith, right? And you don't give in to temptation, you don't give in to carnality, you gotta have faith in that. Speaking to myself first and foremost, the Elkanah said to her husband, then Elkanah, her husband, said to her, then said Elkanah, her husband, to her, Hannah, why weepest thou? Why eatest thou not? Why is thy heart grieved? Am I not better to thee than 10 sons? Right? Because he took very good care of her because she couldn't have children. So Hannah rose up, they eat in Silo, now they are drunk. Now Eli the priest sat upon a seat by a post of the temple of the Lord. That was pretty much the point. So, yeah, she was pretty much really sorrowful because she couldn't produce any children, man. Right? And then, pretty much the Lord blessed her, and gave her, Samuel, and Samuel, pretty much stayed with Eli, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he pretty much stayed with Eli. Let's see if we can read on down. And I go up. Into yeah. Well, yeah, let's see. There was a morning. Yeah, I believe he pretty much just if I'm wrong, put it in the comment section, but now it's kind of bugging out. But yeah, man, right? That's pretty much the lesson, right? In the ancient world, having a kid, having children was like, it was like a beautiful thing, man. And to have a man child was very important because that man, that boy will carry on your name, your legacy, and then carry on your seed line, man. Right? But of course, nowadays people don't really think like that. They go, "Oh, I have a daughter. Oh, this is wonderful," but really, you're supposed to want to have sons, man. Right? At least have a son, man. But it is what it is. If you have old daughters, don't worry about it. In the kingdom, you'll have sons, you'll have daughters. You won't have to worry about nothing. You'll be all right. All right, but I'm gonna let that be that. Lord edified, and I say shalom.